This is where one of the UK's most prolific rapists thought he'd got away with murder. The spot where sex workers were attacked, where Emma Caldwell was strangled and dumped naked in this ditch.
Whether she had threatened to report you to the police or whether you killed her whilst acting out some evil fantasy, you murdered her in circumstances which must have been truly terrifying, alone with the man who had already indecently assaulted her, in the dark, deprived of her phone and miles from any prospect of help.
You have been arrested on suspicion of murder.
This is the moment Iain Packer was finally removed from the streets, prevented from harming again.
Not sexually violent
Who has
man
raped
whatsoever.
women.
I've never raped anyone in my life.
Iain Packer was such a confident liar, he took part in this documentary protesting his innocence.
Not at all, I know nothing about it.
Did you kill Emma?
No, I never. I could look you in the eye and say no, I had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
That was the biggest lie of them all. But this court finally got to the truth. A predator guilty of one of the worst campaigns of sex crimes this country has ever seen.
I feel as if I can breathe again. This man is gone. And I hope it gets long enough that he can't harm anyone else. He'll always be the same, he's not going to change. It's my daughter. And I'm going to stand up for her. It didn't make any difference to me what she did. They made a mistake when they thought Emma wasn't worth anything, because Emma was worth an awful lot.
Packer was a familiar face here in the red light district over the decades, prowling the streets, a habitual user of sex workers. He was interviewed several times by police over the years and even admitted taking Emma from these streets down to the woods 40 miles away for sex. But it took them 17 years before he was eventually arrested, during which time he continued to abuse. But now Sky News can reveal that former sex workers had told police he was sexually violent years before Emma was even murdered, and it appears nothing was done about it.
He tried to force me to my knees. I was terrified. I met two police officers that I knew. I told them about the attack and I got jailed for a Section 46, which is prostitution. They never took a statement.
For 2003, the police were getting warned about him. So back then, if the police had just listened to the girls who came forward and told them, a lot of the other sexual crimes would never have happened. And to be honest, Emma could still be alive. They just looked down on us. I've been raped, I've been held hostage. Nothing would ever happen to the men. They've got blood in their hands.
Yes, they've got blood.
They have got blood in their hands for this.
A toxic culture of misogyny and corruption meant that the police failed so many women and girls who came forward to speak against Packer. Instead of receiving justice and compassion, they were humiliated, they were dismissed, and in some instances they were arrested.
And now, an admission of failure.
Emma Caldwell, her family, and many other victims were let down by policing in 2005. For that, we are sorry. The lack of investigation until 2015 caused unnecessary distress to her family and all of those women who came forward to report sexual violence.
My Emma.
This has always been about Emma Caldwell and the pain endured by her mum for so long. She finally has justice.
What I really want, Emma.
Connor Gillis, Sky News, Glasgow.
That's what I really want.